Well, welcome to my mailbag today. This is the result of Pimoroni's big sale they had this year, and it came in while I was off camping, so it's time to open it up. And I'm probably going to pause this video a little bit because some of the things I got I want to give a little bit more detail to, because I think you might find them interesting, what they can do and so forth. Hard for me to keep all those details in my head. Good. Open this up. Here, that looks good. Yeah, so I purchased several items that were 50% off in their sale, and without that, several of these I probably wouldn't have purchased, but 50% off caught my attention, as usual. Alright, so we'll start with this one, the I/O Expander Breakout. It says for Raspberry Pi, but it could also be used with your a Pico as well, and probably other boards. So let's open it up, take a look at it, and then I'll break into this video with some more information about it. This is one that I think has a lot of interesting capabilities, and I got kind of interested in it because I've been playing around with shift registers as a way to expand your digital outputs and inputs on the Pico, and then I saw this one, which is a pretty fancy. It uses I2C to make all the connections, and it has ADC pins. So some of these pins can do pulse width modulation. So we have 14 additional pins on here. Hold it up. And we have 8 ADC pins. So it has a 12-bit ADC in it. And, a total of 14 GPIO pins. Well, I checked to make sure I hadn't missed any of the important details for this one, but I think I covered all the best parts of this little I/O expander that we got, and it did come with some extra headers in here. I think that's it, just these 90-degree ones. So that I thought was a really versatile board that I could use both with Pis and with Picos, and they offer, libraries and so forth. So I thought that was really a nice board to have, and at 50% off, it was worth it. It's another one that I got here. It's a motor shim. I have some motor shims, but this one is nice that it kind of backpacks onto the Pico. And it was also, as I said, all of these are 50% off. I probably wouldn't have picked it up without it, but you can slide this one right on the back of a Pico, and you can see it has some nice little connectors here, and power, I guess, coming into the board here. So yeah, they connect into your motors here, obviously, and bring power to the board. Pretty straightforward. Got a little button here too, so it looked nice, and at 50% off, I thought it would be nice to have, maybe just for a little robot that ran off of our Pico. All right, so put that one away. Yeah, this one I was primarily an impulse buy at 50% off. This looked like an interesting sensor to try. So this one will allow us to look at luminescence and color, and it says it's sophisticated and accurate color. I don't have any color sensors, and I thought that would be nice to try. So with the sale, that seemed like a reasonable thing to do. And I get a lot of sensors. Just people wonder what I do with some of this stuff. Some of these things go into projects. I don't make videos for. Wow, this is hard for me to open here. All right. I don't make videos of everything I make. Depends on whether I have the energy, because it does take time to make videos. So sometimes I do, and if I'm inspired. Came with some headers, and there we go. So you can just take a look at it. And we'll put those down and take a closer look at the board. Try to get centered. So nothing, nothing too crazy. And it's an I2C, and it uses their breakout garden format. That's this this way it puts them. So if you have a breakout garden project board, you can easily slide this in and out. So I have one of their little robots that I have a couple of those slots on, so I could put that in there to have it look at luminescence and color, which could be fun. I've been thinking about making some mazes for my robots to run through, and you could have it maybe recognize colors on the wall, and then it would move in a certain direction based on the color. That's something I've been thinking about. So this seemed like a reasonable sensor to use. All right, this is another sensor that I purchased that I'm not very familiar with. It's a multispectral sensor, and it will detect 14 channels of light from 380 nanometers to 1,000 nanometers. I'm trying to remember the product description. I think it said on it that it would, 12 of those channels of light were the visible, and 2 were near infrared. If I remember that correctly. If I didn't, I'll break in and give some more information. I think this was actually the most expensive thing I purchased, except for this display, which we'll talk about later. And just another sensor that I've never worked with before, and I was curious to, so you can see we got a couple different headers we can use, and very teeny little sensor, and we have a Quest connector here, and the breakout garden connections here. So yeah, nothing much going on. I guess that's it right there. I think it would be interesting to use. I don't know what purpose I would have for it, other than I'm just curious to use it and see the kind of data that comes out of such a sensor, and mess around with it. All right, and because it was on a decent sale, 50% off, as I've said before, I decided to get it. And last is they had a nice sale on these LED matrix breakouts. This one was white LEDs, and yeah, just a good price. So this was just, I've seen them before, but I thought it'd be fun to play with, and I like the size of it's really tiny. Again, a couple different kinds of headers to use. It's also in the breakout garden format, and you can see really teeny LEDs, 11 by 7 matrix, and already has a chip in here, so we can manage it, all those LEDs, and just use I2C to connect up and use them. So I thought that was fun, and for 50% off, I'm sure I'll have a good time messing around with that. Could be a nice little display, maybe for a robot to, give information. You could do that too with it. That's probably where it'll end up once I can get done playing around with it. And they also had this. This is for a Raspberry Pi. It's all set up for a Raspberry Pi. I haven't been using my Raspberry Pis too much for, playing around with RGB LEDs and LEDs in general. I typically would use a Pico for that. But this was on a really nice sale. And I thought, well, that's something I could do with my Pis too. Why not? And it mounts nicely onto the Pi to mess around with. So, yeah, you've got all these LEDs, and then you've got buttons, so you could come up with some really cool little games or a visual display. Use a menu system with all these buttons. You could have a lot of fun. And you can see here that it connects right into the 40-pin GPIO header of your Pi. Yeah, a lot of possibilities with this. Let's see what it says on here. Yeah, it's a 17 by 7 by 3 LEDs. 17 by 7, and I guess 3 colors. I guess red, green, blue. I guess that's what they mean by that. And the 4 buttons. So this would be a neat little, all-in-one hat to put on your Pi. And again, at 50% off, it seemed like it was worth picking up. And last was the Hyperpixel round display. I think they may have newer versions of this. This one's meant for a Raspberry Pi as well, but it was 50% off, and it's a touch screen. So these screens are normally pretty pricey. It's a 480 by 480, 60 frames per second, and with the touch screen. So I just looking at the price, I haven't ever bought one of their Hyperpixel displays before, and I thought, well, this would be a nice way to try one out at a very reasonable price. It's nicely packaged. Yeah, there we go. Well, you can see the display there, and you can see how it mounts as a hat onto your Raspberry Pi, and yeah, all nicely set up for you to use. Looks like we could mount, maybe like we could put a smaller, one of the smaller size Raspberry Pis on here instead of a full-size one. Yeah, that would probably be the best use of it, I would guess. So mostly because the cost was so much less, and I thought, well, this is a chance for me to try something without spending a lot of money on it, because I'm not sure I don't have a ton of use for this display, but I love the round ones, and messing around with a round display, thinking about how to do the graphics on it, that could be fun. And then the touch part of it too. I haven't done any kind of programming with a touch screen before, so I think that would be cool to try. Well, a lot of explanation this time. Sometimes I don't do that much, but some of these deserved a little more attention. And with that, we'll end this mailbag. And as always, I want to thank you for watching.